Well, welcome everybody. I'm your host, Crystal, and this is another edition of the 9 O'Clock Meltdown podcast. We are in my apartment, and via Facebook video, I have the oh-so-wonderful Duluth Dolls. No doubt you have heard about these guys. They have done tours, they've done fundraisers, they've done videos, they've been in everything, and they've been a strong suit for the last number of years. With us, I have Erin, who's a co-owner, and I've got Sheila, one of the fabulous ladies. Hello.
She's the other co-owner.
Ah, you are.
Owners.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. So, ladies, really, how did the Duluth Dolls start? I mean, I kind of remember it vaguely, just kind of seeing some posters and stuff like that. And it was, at first, nobody could figure out if it was a striptease or a burlesque show or, was this a group of strippers coming together? There were a lot of different things swirling around out there many years ago. How did this come to be?
Yes, I'll start. Well, back in January of 2012, a group of about approximately 6 belly dancers got together. We met in one of the ladies' homes in West Duluth. And it was right about the time where the movie Burlesque had just opened. It just got our creative juices running. So we met in the living room and came up with a plan on what we wanted to do. Everyone in the group had been dancing in excess of 10 years. Okay. And we were just looking for something new, a new avenue of something to do. So the 6 of us got our heads together and we came up with the name Duluth Dolls. And we sent out an invite to invite other dancers. So from January of 2012 to late summer of 2012, our group grew to 12 members. Mm-hmm. And once we got the 12 members, we started choreographing and working together and planned our very first show. I can't quite remember, Erin, if the first show was December's Naughty or Nice or if we did a Halloween. I don't quite remember.
No, our first show was at the Clyde with Ron Haug. Remember that one?
Yes, it was. And
then we did,
that was the very
our second
first
show was Cheryl Husby's Lady Party.
Ladies' Night, yeah. And then Naughty or Nice. Our very first mission for the troupe was to bring back old school burlesque.
Okay.
Introduce it to Duluth. It was to introduce it to Duluth, to introduce it as an art form, mm-hmm. And not a striptease act that would be at the Saratoga.
Okay.
We introduced it as an art form. I don't know if you've heard of some of the old burlesque dancers, Josephine Baker, Sally Rand. A lot of people have heard of Gypsy Rose Lee. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Our thoughts were to just go on that genre of the old time, tease. We call it the art of the tease. Yeah, okay. The old time art of the tease. Mm-hmm. And then once the troupe grew, as we grew, we got in different members that came from different backgrounds, different experience in dance. Lyrical dance, modern dance, ballet, every genre out there. Latin ballroom dance. When some of the younger ones joined the troupe, the music that they liked and their style of dance that they liked was a mixture of ballroom dance. Mm. And for instance, Erin and one of our members did a wonderful, cute number to the Nutcracker, which included some dancing and some ballet and all of that. And that style of dance is called neo burlesque dance. And Erin can explain neo a lot better than I can.
Again, so neo burlesque is a very wide range because it is straying away from classic burlesque, but mm-hmm. It takes many forms and can go down many avenues. So neo burlesque is kind of like a big umbrella of whatever you'd like to do underneath that, as long as there's some striptease involved. Ballet number was neo burlesque, but I also did a number where I was an insane clown and I was just flopping around on stage, and that was also burlesque or neo burlesque. Where classic burlesque is very, I don't want to say similar, but there's a kind of a routine that you follow. Mm-hmm. Neo-burlesque is kind of everything else that you could do. There's a lot more options with neo-burlesque, and it's fun, but it also was really fun to do classic burlesque. And I would say I definitely started out with neo burlesque, trying to figure out who I was and who my character was, and have kind of slowly started to come back to classic burlesque because it is classic and it's there for a reason, and it really does lend itself to the art form because that is originally what it started as.
Yeah, and ladies, I think with some people, you throw out the word burlesque and they don't quite know really what it is. I mean, what is classic burlesque? I mean, automatically I think Moulin Rouge,
Moulin Rouge.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I think of when I hear the word burlesque, but I guess I want to hear it from actual burlesque dancers. I mean, what is burlesque?
Well, the dictionary defines, I can't remember the exact definition, but it defines it more in the realm of vaudeville. And burlesque is a part of an entire vaudeville show. It began a lot more theatrical and with like a lot of satire and a lot of comedy in it because of the years that it's been happening. It has changed and reshaped itself, but I guess that's not explaining it super well. But the dictionary involves like vaudeville and having it be a very theatrical thing. So Sheila, if you want to get further into that, you go for it.
Vaudeville was a big part of it. For instance, Josephine Baker, I don't know if you're familiar with her. She did the very, very famous banana dance, and almost all of her dances were kooky, kooky and funny. But at the same time, as she's on stage prancing around and doing wild moves, she was taking off a glove, or she was taking off her stockings. It's pretty much a theatrical act which incorporates taking off clothing. But with burlesque, there's classic burlesque, which we call it's cabaret style, where the dancer does the tease. She might only take off her gloves and only take off her coat, where other dancers go all the way to what's called the reveal, where they unclothe down to pasties and panties. Burlesque is never ever totally nude, has never been totally nude. And the old school dancers, it was down to a pair of the old high waist underwear. And a bra. Which is, it's my style, is cabaret style burlesque. So all of the dancers do not strip all the way down to pasties and panties. It's all under the umbrella of burlesque. And some of the acts are very serious and sensual, and some of the acts are corny and funny, which makes it such a variety of acts when we put a show on. I think it's what makes our shows so interesting.
You really have the ability to start with this little seed of an idea and blossoms into whatever you can come up with. There are no limits to burlesque, which I think is what's been really fun for me, because I started out as a classically trained dancer, and there are limits on that. Right. And you do have to kind of fit into this idea of what the specific style of dance you're doing is. And burlesque is just whatever you want it to be, and wherever your mind and your imagination want to take you, you get to kind of follow that route. And that's been hard sometimes, and also really exciting and really liberating. It's really fun. Yeah.
And now you ladies have actually gone out on a couple tours with the Duluth Dolls. Tell me about your time doing that.
So we did the Dolls on our own, haven't done a big tour. We were actually going to plan a big tour this year in October, but because of COVID, we weren't able to do that. So we've just done a couple here and there shows out of town. I wouldn't say that is necessarily a tour. It's really fun and really humbling to go to a different city where, like, here in Duluth, we spent so much time kind of building up our reputation, and now we have a following, and we have people that look for our shows and are very excited about it. But when you go somewhere else, you're starting over from scratch, and you don't know who's going to be there. You don't know if they're going to be prepared for you or if they're going to accept you. And I feel like most of the time we've been received really well, and we do now have people in other cities that look for us if we are out and about, and that's been a really nice feeling thing, I guess, to know that, okay, we are on the right track and doing the right thing, or people like us, I guess.
Like you said in the very beginning, when you heard of the Duluth Dolls, you didn't quite know what we were about. Yeah. We worked very, very hard to change the mindset of some people that we were strippers. Yes, stripping is a part of burlesque, but it's more than that, much more than that. Because it has been around so long, we consider it an art form. It's an art form of dance, exact same as my belly dancing is what I've done. And as far as the tours, many of our dancers have danced on their own as a part of the Duluth Dolls all over the United States. And one of our dancers danced in, I think it was Brazil. She was traveling.
Sheila, to kind of go back a little bit, just because I was kind of curious of that as well, you know, I mean, especially in this day and age, you know, burlesque isn't really as popular as it once was. I mean, was there ever a point in time that you guys were compared to strippers? I mean, is that kind of what people thought you were doing? I mean,
all the time. Okay. It still happens.
Still to this day, some people frown upon it, but there have been some of the dancers. They get a person who is just I want nothing to do with that. They talk them into coming to seeing. Say, just come to one show. Totally changed their mind, and they loved it every time.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Yep.
Good. Let me ask you this, and maybe you can answer or not. So what is the main difference between a burlesque dancer and a stripper? I mean, besides the obvious things, but...
Well, in my mind, the difference is a burlesque dancer removes their clothing as a part of an act. We are on a stage with an audience versus a bar with people there tossing money at us. That we do not have in a burlesque dance, people do not toss money up on the stage. It depends on your troupe, and it depends on what show you do. That has happened, and the fact that burlesque dancers there's no total nudity in it. So that's where I see the difference in.
Yeah, for me, and I'm gonna just to add on that, I feel like the main difference is the point of the burlesque number is to remove the clothing, and then once the clothing is removed, the number's done and you leave. There is no extra dancing. I mean, sometimes there is, but it's not glorified to be out there on stage for a very long time without any clothes on or with a minimal amount of clothes on. And I think it's also the artistry that comes along with it, because our numbers do have like pretty elaborate costumes, and usually we're playing characters, and usually there's a lot of like thought and preparation that goes into it. So we're creating this story for you in this 3 minutes that we're giving to you, whereas in a strip club they're dancing for sure, and most of them are very, very talented, but it is just that. It's just about the dance, and it's just about getting naked and showcasing that part of it. It is the theatrical side that makes it different. Like we're creating a whole story for you.
Right. Two different sides of the spectrum there. So thank you. Thank you for letting me ask that question. I didn't quite know how it would go over, but thank you for educating me.
We do want to make it clear that like strippers are very talented, and they're people that need to make money, and there's no shame in that, but it's just not, they are two very different things. But we have no disrespect for people in that profession.
Oh, right.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. I mean, half the stuff those ladies can do, and men for that matter, I mean, hell, I could never do that.
Talented. It's insane.
Yeah. So, ladies, how many group members do you have now with the Duluth Dolls?
14 to 15. I believe we're at 14. 14 right now.
And then we have
we've had some dancers move away.
Okay.
And then come back to Duluth, and they're always welcome. They join the troupe. We actually have people asking all the time, are you taking any new dancers? Are there auditions? So we've become very popular, which is good.
Yes.
Which is really good, because there are some shows with the 14 of us. If we put on a show and we're doing a 90-minute show, you need at least 11 dancers to fill that time. So the more dancers we have, the better off we are. So we're very happy that we're at 14 right now.
Excellent. And something else that I've kind of noticed from some of your Instagram posts and some of your Facebook posts, you're definitely on the body positivity side of things. The, sisters, let's share some love. Let's, get out there and show the world what we've got. Did that kind of just come naturally, or was that something that you always wanted to perpetuate?
I think that kind of comes with the territory.
It's been a part of our mission.
Yeah, and that's something also that goes along with maybe the difference between burlesque and stripping is that main point for doing burlesque is for yourself and for your own empowerment and learning the power that you have and like taking that step and having the courage to do that. Whereas I feel like stripping, because of just the way the world works, you don't quite get that empowerment. You know, you're dancing for money and you're dancing for someone else and you're dancing for someone else's pleasure. And burlesque is just for you. And if people are there to see it, great. And if they're not, you're up there to do your own thing and to show the world, like, look at how fucking cool I am. Look at how good I'm feeling.
Ooh, she broke the ice. And then also we host burlesque workshops. We call it Burlesque 101, but we host workshops. And we have a lot of women that come to the workshops that are just nervous. I mean, just nervous about feeling sexual and about loving their body, embracing their body. And we teach that in the workshops. And then by the end of the workshop, everyone has a huge smile on their face. They've gained a lot of confidence. I've heard from many people that attend the workshops is, oh my goodness, I feel so much better about myself. I've gained so much confidence. And we have some of our dancers have come from our workshops that we have right now. Teach you how to love your body, how to love yourself, how to express yourself through music and through movement. Yeah, and the journey to finding your own sexuality is pretty powerful. Can I get real with you for a second?
Of course.
Yeah, I came from a place of like not being comfortable with my sexuality, spending a lot of years like sexually abusing myself. I was raped when I was 20. I had a lot of stuff going on, and through doing burlesque in a place that was comfortable and safe for me. That was really important. And I got to like learn about myself and about my feelings and process what was going on in my brain through dance and through this place where all of these women were like, you're beautiful, your process is beautiful, just do what you need to do like that. I would not be where I am had I not had that experience. Freeing and uplifting, and I worked through a lot of gunk, and now I'm where I am. So it's definitely a powerful, powerful thing.
That is a word I hear quite a bit from some of the dancers, that it's just freeing. It's, you're just free to be you. Our troupe, we're a big family, and we are all very, very diverse in our lifestyles and in our beliefs, but we're a family, and we all support everyone's differences.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. Erin, thank you so much for sharing that. Though that's a powerful feeling when you're, when you're able to have control of.
Yeah, it is. And it took me a long time to even realize that that's what had happened, and then realize that it's an important thing to talk about, because there are a lot of people out there that I'm sure are in a similar place and just don't know what to do with it. And so if you can get out there and find a group like this that is going to just hold you when you need to be held, like, that's so very important.
Surround yourself by positive people and like-minded people as well, definitely.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yes, definitely. Erin, on to just kind of jumping on your point, you and I had a very similar experience, but I've got trauma going all the way back through my childhood, and yes, definitely finding out who you are, it takes time, takes patience. But you found burlesque and I found radio, so that's really cool. That
and it's good. The outlet is there. It's just whatever outlet works for you.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Well, Erin, I'm so happy that you're in a better spot and that you're able to share as well. I think that's one of the things that holds a lot of people back, is they feel they can't share those experiences and, connect in that way with each other. So thank you for sharing. That's awesome.
And you too. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, Sheila, to kind of get back to your earlier experiences, you are a belly dancer. Belly dancing, I've kind of heard about it, but not really in northern Minnesota. How did that come about for you?
Oh, really? And I've been dancing in northern Minnesota for over 21 years. It actually came about, there was a community ed class.
Okay.
And it was something that I found I could do with my 16-year-old daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So the two of us got together and took this class. I fell in love with it. My daughter took a break for a while because she went to college.
Mm-hmm.
But then once she finished college, she came back to the troupe. She came back to belly dancing. And actually to this day, I have a group of dancers. We've been dancing together every Monday night. One of our friends' attics upstairs, she has this beautiful like ballroom type room in her attic. But we get together every Monday night. We exercise, we belly dance, and then we eat and drink wine. 19 years.
That sounds
19
fabulous.
years we've been doing that.
Yeah.
But I fell in love with it so much that I started, actually a good friend of Erin's, Juliana Bertelston. She's a ballerina, and she's also a salsa instructor. Well, Erin's mother knows Juliana. So through Erin's mother, Juliana contacted me and asked if I would be interested in teaching belly dance classes in her studio. So I taught, I don't even know what it is right now, but I think it's the Wasabi restaurant right now. It's gone through so many hands.
You're talking.
It was Tycoon.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But we had a studio. We had a studio up there, and then we moved down to Canal Park, and we moved around quite a bit. But I never ever lost the love of belly dance. And belly dance goes back hundreds of years, hundreds and hundreds of years. And again, it is a dance that originated for women, and it was danced by women amongst themselves.
That wasn't it for a child?
Yes, it was meant to help a mother through her pregnancy, conditioning of her body. It was to help with the delivery of the baby, and then also it helps after the baby is born for the mother to get her body back in sync and all of her hormones and everything to get back in sync. But so that the original purpose of belly dance was a dance for women by women. And then once it came to the United States, it kind of evolved and changed a little bit. And some people have the concept that belly dance is about turning men on, similar to stripping, but that has never ever been the focus of belly dance. It's a cultural dance. It's an empowering dance, the same as burlesque is. It's empowerment of women, kick-ass exercise. It is absolutely wonderful.
Yeah,
it's
so hard.
A lot of people go, "Oh my gosh, I love that," and I've had many people, "Oh my God, this is hard." But it is, But once you fall in love with it, you always have it. You should try it someday.
Yes, I think I will. And now I kind of want to try burlesque too, but...
yes.
Everyone should.
Yes.
Let me tell you that.
Yes. You want it to be inclusive and to allow people to express themselves. So what would you tell someone like me who's very curious about it, wants a form of expression, but is kind of like, what is everybody else going to think because I don't look normal?
Ooh, that's the beauty of burlesque. You don't have to look normal, and the weirder you look, the better.
And everybody is different. Many of our dancers had a problem mentally with their size. Your size is, I'm so small. Well, some of them have the problem, I'm too large. I could never go on stage and have people look at me,
Yeah.
It's just, like I said, those workshops, you have to learn how to love the body that you were given. The first person to tell you you're beautiful should be yourself. And I tell people that all the time. And once you learn to love who you are, other people are going to gravitate towards you and they're going to love you too. Everybody's beautiful.
One of the exercises that we work on in our classes too is just like a mental check-in of your body and going through and closing your eyes and imagining each part of your body. And when you get to a part that makes you cringe a little bit, just spend an extra second there and say to yourself, either out loud or in your head, but actually say, I love this part too. And that mental work and like reframing it, each part of your body that you're not so sure on, if you can just say, I love you anyways, even if you're not perfect, even if I don't like you in this moment, you're still a part of my body and I love you anyways. Like, that's very powerful.
Yeah, that does sound very powerful.
Yeah, and you can do that at home. You can do that in your car. You can do that. I mean, don't close your eyes if you're in your car, obviously. Do not drive with your eyes closed.
No.
You can really do it anywhere, and it takes only a couple minutes if you want to go through your whole body, or if it's only a second when you look in the mirror in the morning and you're like, wow, my ears stick out too much. I love you anyways.
Yeah, that sounds like a fabulous kind of check-in to start your day and to kind of jumpstart that self-love and self-acceptance. I've noticed a lot more on social media and in the media in general about self-acceptance and love and things like that. Kind of just to take it back a little bit, I mean, do you think we kind of strayed away from self-acceptance there for a bit and we're all chasing after something that's not real? I mean,
yes,
it's part of being human. It's part of being human.
Yeah,
and we all still have to put ourselves in check. COVID, and then I had 2 knee replacements over a year ago, and of course, it took over a year to get back to where I can move. And well, of course, I put on 19 pounds, and I would talk. We had a show recently, and I wasn't feeling pretty. I wasn't feeling like anybody wanted to see my body. So we all go back and forth with it. And we just have to keep reminding ourselves. Yeah,
self-love isn't like, oh, today I decide that I love myself. It's a constant thing, just like anything else, any kind of mental work. You know, you always have to keep yourself in check, and you'll have days where you're like, wow, I'm the ugliest, fattest, skinniest, longest, widest, whatever your thing today, and then the next day you're like, damn, I feel good. Okay, I was crazy yesterday. I don't know what happened.
Right. Ladies, that is some powerful and amazing stuff. I am so glad you took this call and took the time to talk to me this afternoon. It sounds like the Duluth Dolls are doing some really amazing work, not just for yourselves, but for the ladies up here in the wider world as well. Have you done, since COVID is now a thing, have you done any online workshops or anything?
Well, we haven't done any workshops online, but we've done a couple, well, not a couple, we've done a virtual show. We did a Halloween show, and we were novices at it, but it turned out absolutely awesome. Just this past week, we did an online auction to help benefit the Lincoln Park Children's and Families Collaborative. And we were able to, we raised over $1,200 to donate to them. We just went on live last night. And we have another virtual show coming up. And Erin, you have to give the dates on that.
I have to make the event page, but it's airing January 9th. I think it's Saturday, January 9th.
All right,
and
wonderful.
Make event page. I will.
Yeah, and how do you guys do your kind of online events? Is it just a camera and you've got some music playing somewhere and it's in someone's living room, or do you go take over a stage somewhere?
For the Halloween show, we just had people individually tape their numbers in the location of their choice, and then Derek Shaney, our lovely tech. He's a dancer also, but in this moment, he's our tech man, our video man. He strung them all together, and then we did a live stream on YouTube where we aired it, and then we were kind of down in the corner, coming in and out of it, just chatting and saying hey. It was really fun.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I was pretty proud of myself. I figured out how to put all that together and how to live stream, and I had no knowledge, clearly, because I was so nervous about getting all of us on this chat, so I can't believe I figured that out.
You did an awesome job.
I walked you through it. It's okay. Excellent. So you've got another streaming show coming up. What are you guys looking forward to in the future? Are you guys looking kind of at getting classes going back on? Are you looking at doing more shows? What are you looking forward to?
Yeah, one thing that we are looking for, and might as well put it out there, we need a home studio. We are searching for a place where the troupe can go and create their performances and practice their performances. So there are some people that are trying to get their routines together in their kitchen. And with COVID, we had a place that we could go, but we're not, they close. All the places are closed. So, we would love to find a place to call our own that we can rent. And from there on, we had 2020, we were having to turn down bookings in early 2020, but COVID hit. So we're looking forward to getting those phone calls again and making those phone calls again and getting back to saying, oh, we're so sorry, we're booked that day, but can you do it next month?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And ladies, what goes into kind of getting the troupe together and off the ground? It sounds like there's some behind the scenes work, booking and making phone calls, emails, things like that. Can we dive into the business side of things a little bit here?
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about.
We can make it abbreviated because we actually did a video. We put together a video of behind the scenes, what goes on to make a show, to produce a show, and to make a show. And how long was that video? It was
like 25 minutes long.
It was 25, 30 minutes long.
Oh.
There's a lot into it. But Erin, give the abbreviated.
Well, so it starts with communicating and many weeks or even months of communicating with venues and crews that we have, and usually either Sheila and I will produce a show together, or we will each take a show and produce them separately, but there's always a producer. We always have a venue. It's a lot of details that you have to work out because each venue is different, and you need to know the lighting, and you need to know the stage area, and you need to know the capacity, and you need to know the backstage area, and you need to know when can we come in for a tech rehearsal, and then you have to communicate with your dancers too. When are you available for tech rehearsals? When is it a good time for a show? Do you want to come in and see the space? And so it's a lot of communicating at the beginning.
Can I get in there too?
Yes,
Erin?
please.
And then some of our shows we use live music. So you add on, we have to connect with the musicians, and then we have to practice with the musicians before, and then we have so just wanted to leave that part back in there.
Yes. Yeah. There's weeks and months that go into each show, and then each dancer has to rehearse their numbers, come up with their idea and their costume, and rehearse their numbers. And because burlesque is based around the costume, it is about taking the costume off. Usually you can't really start choreographing until you know what you're going to wear. So I would say our dancers probably rehearse for a month to 2 months before each show. And then if they have group numbers or if they have duets, then they're in rehearsals doing that with each other. What else do we do, Sheila? Well, then there's social media. People don't come to the show if they don't know what's happening. So we have a whole crew of social media people that are posting things daily or multiple times a day, answering emails, answering our messages on Instagram and Facebook. So many people have so many questions. You could write a whole event page and you would not think of that one question. That 10 people
exactly.
God damn it. I'm answering these 10 emails when I need to be doing this.
And actually, speaking of your team members, I know you've done some stuff with Susie Q. She's an aerialist and a musician in town. She recently got into aerial work not too long ago. She's absolutely fabulous at it. You've done some stuff with her recently, and then you also brought on our friend Kayla as well. Now, is Kayla your MC?
She is our in-house MC.
All right, wonderful. And what's the MC kind of do? I mean, I know it's their job to kind of introduce, but is it their job to kind of get the crowd into it? Where does Kayla take on that role?
She gets to be the one that interacts with the audience every time that don't have music playing, basically.
Okay.
And she is the one that hypes people up. She's the one that tells them to tip us. She tells them the rules in the beginning of the show, because we do have rules. There's no touching the dancers. There's no grabbing at them. There's no yelling.
There's no photography.
No profanities. So she's the one that also lays down the law, and she is kind of like our bodyguard, because she will come out if someone is acting unruly and be like, you gotta go, or you need to sit down, or you can't do that. She's a lot of things for us. She's our wrangler and our hype person, and our advocate.
Fabulous. Fabulous. And with Susie, how did you guys get in touch with her?
How did we get involved with Susie? It feels like I've known her for so long.
I thought it was you.
I don't even remember.
Probably. I thought it was you. I met her when she joined one of our shows at the Underground.
Through my husband. They used to work at the Electric Fetus together, and so I think I just kind of Actually, we met her through her band because a couple dancers also danced them when they were playing. And then when she got into aerials, I took a couple classes from her and then was like, hey, you should come do a show with us sometime. I can't remember who reached out, but one of us reached out. Let's do shows together.
Any future shows in the works with kind of different artists or more artists?
Go for it.
Well, yeah, COVID took over, but
yes.
We had started collaborating with the Bordertown Betties. I don't know if you've heard of the Bordertown Betties.
Yes.
And we had a show planned for, I believe it was April. Surf's Up. They were doing a Surf's Up show, and some of our dancers going to be a part of their show. And in the meantime, last year's performance, the Bordertown Betties helped us with our show downtown at the Underground. They helped with the selling merchandise, answering any questions that people had when they were coming in, into the venue. So we've collaborated with them and plan to in the future. Pick up where we left off.
Yes, excellent. Fabulous, you guys, fabulous.
Yeah.
All right, so you have a streaming show coming up. Looks like you've got a couple classes in the works. You're kind of waiting. Everybody's in this holding pattern of COVID.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many people I've spoken to, and they're like, yeah, I'm just kind of sitting twiddling my thumbs.
Trying not to go insane.
Yes. So everybody's kind of in this holding pattern. Does that give you guys more time to kind of plan things out, plan different venues, different shows?
Yeah. I laugh because I'm always saying, Erin, what do you think about this? Because all these ideas are always popping in my head. And first person I text or call is her, and she's always on my bandwagon. We have a few things. We have a few things that we're going to work on over the winter, over the winter months. I leave Duluth. I'm sorry, I'm a trader. I leave Duluth for warmer weather every January, and I come back in May.
Okay.
But I'm going to be working on that new. It's a secret right now, but we're going to be working on a new aspect. Yeah, I work long distance. I do what I can for the troupe, whatever I can do on the internet, and stay involved. And the troupe, we have monthly meetings, and I'm always a part of that monthly meeting. Just to keep track of things, and I'm called the mama of the troupe. I'm called Mama Sheila. So sometimes keeping those dancers in line.
Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So our brain's always coming up with some things, but we have something new, hasn't even been put out there yet.
Okay. Ooh, all right. Now I'll just have to wait, right?
Yes.
You're going to make me wait? Oh, come on.
Sorry.
All right. Ladies, thank you so much for taking time out of your afternoon to talk with me and the wider world about the Duluth Dolls, the history of burlesque, and what burlesque means to you and what it should mean to the rest of the world. Mama Sheila, thank you so much. Erin, thank you so much for getting this set up. I look forward to seeing you guys out and about after COVID's done or on the internet.
The internet, and hopefully at one of our live shows.
Yes.
I want to see you there.
All right, perfect.
All right.
Have a great day, you guys. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yes.
Yes, thanks for having us.